With episode 43 of Geats, I feel like it's still hitting that stride. We're still. Like, I want to just. If I knew how many episodes were left, I. My, my confidence right now in tying up some of the stuff is still pretty high. Like, after this episode, I was like, you know what? Like, it's good. Like, welcome to Keiwa's world. This is his world, like with an asterisk, because let's face it, he's being manipulated by Jito and Kakura and everyone else. But I just feel like this, but if we get 50 episodes, we have 7 episodes left. Okay, things can get worked out. If it's like 48 episodes, we have five like left, and I'm just like, all right, some of the stuff. I just wish this show, like some of the stuff we're getting now, was a little bit sooner. Um, because now we have like a cool like Kamen Rider gang. That's because everyone has been brought back that has like basically died or lost their life in the DGP, and we see all this action going on with this gang just beating up civilians and even like a news crew. Sarah calls K1. He's all happy because Sarah's calling her Nichan. And we find out like her parents basically just got attacked and she got apparently killed all by this rider gang. And uh it's so I was like, what? Why? Like, brought back, and the parents were killed off screen. We didn't see the parents, obviously. We didn't see Sarah getting killed, but we saw her on the phone. Um, I don't know how I feel about this whole good guy Michinaga because he jumps in to stop the gang, and I was like, well, Keiwa saw the explosions and the smoke while he was on the phone. He didn't rush in, you know, but and then Ace even shows up, and I was just like, they got this like Goku Vegeta thing going on, like the parallels of that whole dynamic of them, and I did like that we did get a nice, back to back henshin for the two. I did like that some of the gang members in civilian form were trying to fight Geats Mark 9 or Boost 9, Mark Boost not whatever it's called. And I was like, this isn't like why? Why would you like even try? And Ace and our gang leader is just he has the chain array buckle. That's it. And you know, I he they reckon Ace and him recognize each other, and he's like Geats, and then he's like, oh yeah, this is someone who was eliminated in a past DGP he was a part of, and when he remembers that it's Geats, he just instantly dips out of there. But I like the idea of a gang. I thought that was kind of cool. Like, what if people knew about Kamen Rider and it wasn't like a DGP, and someone who basically is a rider starts a gang with other criminals that aren't riders and is just kind of like their boss. I was like, that's a neat idea. I like that in this. Like, this could have happened sooner. Um, but I feel like there's too many moving parts in this episode. Everyone got a little bit of something, and we didn't need more of Jito. Who now has Sumeri chained up in a nice fancy little lounge area. And he's basically saying, the world will become a dystopian world where no one can enjoy it. And Keiwa, instead of going to check on his sister or everyone else, or maybe he might have off screen, decides to confront Jito, and he's just like, Keiwa, it's Keiwa's fault. His wish was too broad scaled because, he brought everyone back, even criminals. So technically, it's his fault now that his parents are dead because he botched his ideal world. So I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Now we're gonna just basically, like, it didn't. I get it, but at the same time, it's like have him have that moment with his parents and have them taken away. If you have to do it again, but like it was just I don't know. This time around doesn't seem as impactful because like he technically got his wish. They came back. Now what is he gonna be mad at the DGP? Like, but this whole point of all this, like I said, too much stuff going on because we find out what kind of GM Jito is. Because I said before, like, hey, he didn't care about the ratings or saving the world. He likes the bad end. That's his thing. He brings the end of that because he says there's an audience for everything. And there's a core few in the audience that that get a kick out of a cruel, miserable show. And I'm like, all right, so he's, a dick. That's it. All right. And now, we have Keiwa demanding a new wish, but Jito says he has to defeat Geats, as it all started with Geats, and that the goddess can't reach her full power with Geats around, because Geats, has his own inherited goddess powers. So I'm like, all right. I was like, sure. Like, I still like the episode. Don't get me wrong with how I'm talking about the episode and like this and that. I still enjoy it. There's just things I would tweak, things that I feel like needed more time to cook or more screen time at least. Like this whole gang rider leader person, he's breaking out all the criminals and everyone out of jail, including Nan's dad. And this guy's even confronting him. He's like, "Hey, you're the leader of that conglomerate. Like, what's up? Give me some money. I let you go free." And Nan actually makes a save, because I was wondering after she visited him, I'm like, this is something I want to see a little more of, because this is building up some character growth, pushing forward a plot narrative, because I do enjoy that she's finally confronting and interacting with her dad. And it's also nice because Nan's currently not a writer, that we have someone who's just technically a civilian right now to kind of give us that story, the aftermath. How do you live your life after being a Kamen Rider, knowing about Kamen Riders, and things are still going awry, but you can't henshin, you can't, you know, be that savior. So I really like that, and I do like that. Once again, she's even asking him, "Is there anything you can do to help?" And even he's claiming that he has no power now. And even he's questioning, like, Nan, like, why are you helping me? And, she even says she bears some responsibility because she's a creation of the goddess. And she has to protect at least as much happiness that was robbed to create her. And I was like, that was a really good line. I was like, holy crap. I was like, that's good. It's deep. And also, the more I thought all this over the last couple episodes, any time that time fire, Nan's dad, this and that, like, I realized he's getting a redemption arc, and I didn't think we were gonna get that from his character. I really didn't. It was a pleasant surprise that that's what we're getting. So I said I like the Rider Gang stuff in the beginning. Now I don't, because Keiwa just shows up and literally henshin's quick attack, and now he beat the leader. But the only thing that was enjoyable, and I laughed at this, and I don't know if anyone else did. Kekra shows up and he's just like, take a knee. Like, this is your new leader. You take out the head of the group, you become the head of the group. And even Tycoon's like, what? And now it's the Tycoon gang. Like, instantly a Tycoon green banner came down, and then everyone all of a sudden is wearing green instead of the yellowish orange that they were wearing before. And I was like, all right, that's kind of funny. Once again, more stuff that, like, kind of, I don't know. Like, they bring up the fact because they're watching a news report, because now Kamen Riders are on the news, and they talk about, Keiwa taking out the Rider Gang. And they're all discussing how, basically Keiwa's being used by Jito and them and Ace is like, we need to get Sumri back. I don't understand why Michinaga tells them he's going to take care of Tycoon when he got his ass beat last time. There's nothing really he can do about it, especially if Kay was going after Ace. So I'm just like, well, all right. And I do like I said, that whole sequence, like, if that was taken out of the episode, it would have been fine, because then they jump right back to Neon and her dad, and I was like, we could have just continued their whole interaction, because now he has his flowers. She's questioning, how often, and he said, every month, he brings flowers since her death. And, she even questions, why didn't you have your memories erased of, her, Akari, his first daughter. And, she even said you probably just wanted some memories of love that you had at one point. And I was like, they're building up the seed of, like, this whole entire backstory of, like, Neon, him not being able to love her and everything else. And I was like, it's good. But then, like, they just throw like unnecessary scenes to break all this stuff up. You know, we see Michinaga say he's going to take care of Tycoon, but instead he goes to the hospital to visit Daichi, who's messed up like crazy. It's great. It's actually very entertaining, and all he asks for is like the location of Tree of Knowledge, and Daichi even says, you know, he lost all his memories, and he's never going to basically tell what the tree is. So I'm like, all right, what was the point of this other than Daichi mentioning, you know, how it's funny that Michinaga is basically becoming a savior after how he's basically been acting the whole show. And I'm like, yeah, no, um, that's that's basically it. Like, yeah, I was like, all right, this is so this whole entire time, and I forgot to bring it up. Baroba had one prisoner with her when she was watching Nan and her father, and that, you know, Baroba says that's your prey. This guy actually comes up to Nan, and he actually said he didn't know the Karamaras had another daughter. We find out he's the one who kidnapped and basically led to the death of Akari, and he kidnaps her. And now this is some of the better parts of the episode from a character standpoint because the Nan's dad got another ransom note, this time for Nan, at the exact same location for 300 million yen. And the mother brings up how she loved both Nan and Akari. And, you know, even says, you know, asks him like, deep down, you had to have felt something for Nan. And we got some flashes of them interacting when she was a kid, him laughing. I just love how they both realized, you know, they should have been the ones to give Nan the love she deserved, but she still found that love in the form of the way of her love for others. And I was like, this is great. And Baroba's starting to get annoying. I'm just saying, Baroba heckling Nan. I'm like, listen, like, I get it, but like, I feel like Kekura's pulling a lot of strings with Keiwa. But Baroba is just everyone's fair game for the despair she wants to see. And I'm just like, you know, I don't know. Like it's going to be like Jean, like when I'm just like, all right, you're kind of overstaying your welcome on the screen right now. Um, and I do like that. I always liked when Ace and Nan's father interacted with each other. The brief few times they did. Um, he even said like Nan told him to trust his word, and then he's trying to make a world where everyone is happy. And he's like, hey, does that include me? Can I be happy? Do I deserve some of this happiness? And I would have loved to see more of that conversation. We did get it, but they kept breaking it back and forth because now we see, you know, Nan tied up with our kidnapper and Baroba, and dad shows up, no money, nothing. And um, I think it's funny that all these like criminals just are entry form with an arms buckle. Like he has the hammer buckle, but they're just basically entry forms with arms buckles. And you know, when he pulled out the Desire Driver with that gold ID core, I was like, that's a nice ID core. I like that gold. And we get the flashback to him asking Ace to enter him in the DGP, as there's a world he still needs to wish for. But I like how they put a plane flying overhead to kind of distort the audio so you couldn't tell what he said other than the words Nan, and part of what I assume is the word happiness. So we're not going to get to know what his full wish is. Uh, the Henshin though, the Henshin was great. I liked it. I liked the pose of it. I like anger and aggressive Henshins, and you know the suit looks really good too. I like that gold with that like navy blue, really nice design. Obviously, we've had that paint scheme in Saber, um, and which is kind of like the color scheme like from Arabian Nights, which I'm okay with. I don't really like gold a lot, other than obviously King form. And was it Omazeo? But like this looked really good. I like how he was rusty with his fighting. The fight was still good. It was very raw, very hand to hand. Like, and I like that. You know, it wasn't just I henshin, I have been a rider, I got this fantasy buckle, which is honestly outside of Geats getting all these new buckles and stuff. I think this is, and other than the Bujin sword, I think this is one of the newer buckles we've gotten in quite some time. Outside of Final Form stuff. So I was like, oh, cool, fantasy buckle. I like it. Actually, I might get it, even though I haven't bought really any buckles for the season. I'm outside of the Legend Rider ones. I may pick this one up. But I did like that fighting. Obviously, once he gets the upper hand, Baroba henshins and jumps into the fray. But um, I like how Kekker's everywhere because he's watching on. He's about to interfere, and Ace shows up and stops him. And now they're fighting. A little bit of clickbait, not too much for like the thumbnail bait. And it was just a good fight. I do like that it kind of left on a cliffhanger with uh, Nan's dad is, right, gets knocked back in front of her. He yells, "Keep your hands off my daughter," and charges towards him. And I was like, all right, now how this is handled, I'm really hoping the next episode with 44 continues right where this left off. Because if it goes right into after the fight and then we get flashbacks, I'll be kind of annoyed because I kind of like how most of these episodes are kind of leading into each other and we're not doing any like short, brief time skips, like either an hour or two or anything like that. But yeah, this was a good episode. Like I said, the civilian stuff is what's really carrying the show right now. Yes, the fighting is cool. I do like Nan got a little more of the snap. I'm curious what they're gonna really be doing with Michinaga because, like I said, we're at episode 43. 44 is next week, and like we know he's getting another form, and we could already tell we know Nan's coming back as a rider. So I'm like, this is intriguing. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. But that's it for my review of the episode. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one.